What's going on, guys? It's your boy Soy Kurigari. Welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going over a complete beginner's guide to Dead by Daylight. Before we get into it though, look for the secret word throughout the video to get a shout out in the next one. Without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start from the basics. Generators. There are in total 7 generators in one Dead by Daylight trial, yet you only have to complete 5. How you complete these 5 are very important. If you do 3 gens on the same side, you're going to end up making it easy for the killer to patrol the last couple of gens that are left. I will pull up a diagram here just to show you guys exactly what I mean. To avoid this, if you see your teammates working on gens on one side, head over to the other side and start working on gens there. That way, it makes it harder for the killers to gen patrol. Generators are pretty basic. Wait for the skill check to pop up, hit the skill check. If you personally struggle with skill checks, there are skill check simulators out there that you can use to practice on. They will be in the description below. Looping. This is the hardest part for a lot of new players. Looping the killer for a long period of time so your teammates can complete gens with ease. I made an entire video on tips for looping, which will pop up on the top right of the video now if you want to go and check it out yourself. The main thing to looping is wasting the killer's time. Find what is known as a maze tile. A maze tile, or just tile, are structures that are featured throughout the maps of Dead by Daylight. You want to find one of these and connect other loops with them. This can be very difficult when you're just starting out, but with practice, you can learn how to use certain loops and run it in a way to give you the advantage. Perks. Perks are a key element to playing Survivor. After all, I personally feel like the killers have the upper hand. They have abilities, and with the right perks, a terrible killer that has a terrible ability can literally be the best killer just based off of his perks. Yet for Survivor, there are about 5 categories of Survivor perks. You have healing perks, solo perks, which means they only benefit you, gen perks, which make you complete gens way faster, team perks that benefit your team, and basically meme perks. I can make a in-depth guide to all these perk categories and go over all the perks that fit into these categories. If you guys would like to see that, comment onion below. For now, I can give you one build for each category. First off, we have the healing build, which is going to require autodidact, which is Adam's perk, botany knowledge, which is Claudette's perk, no one left behind, which is just a general perk, we're gonna live forever, which is David's perk. Next, we have solo build, which is unbreakable, which is Bill's, deliverance, which is Adam's, resilience, which is just another general perk, and light, which is Fang's perk. Gen build, we have prove thyself, which is Dwight's perk, hyper focus, which is Rebecca's, stakeout, which is Taps, and fast track, which is Yun's. Team perks, we have prove thyself once again, which comes from Dwight, wake up, which comes from Quentin, we'll make it, which is just a general perk again, and we're gonna live forever, which comes from David. Meme perks, we have head on, which is Jane's, decisive strike, which is Lori's, diversion, which is Adam's, and deception, which is Elodie's. For some of these perks, you will need to buy the survivor that has the perk, either using auric cells or shards, which you receive when you play through trials and level up your account level. There you go. Items. Now, items strictly depend on your playstyle. Do you want to get gens done? Bring a Komodo's toolbox with a brand new part and socket swivels. Do you want to heal yourself and other people quickly? Bring a ranger medkit with a needle and thread with gel dressings. Do you want to get some flashlight saves? Bring a purple flashlight with 2 batteries. Do you want a hook save? Bring Alex's toolbox with a hacksaw and cutting wire. Do you want to play for hatch? Bring a rainbow map with an unusual stamp and an odd stamp. Want to see the killer's aura and be able to open hatch if the killer closes it? Bring a skeleton key with prayer beads and blood amber add-on and you're set. All items are useful in my opinion. It just depends on how you want to play. If you would like me to do a video covering all add-ons for items, let me know below. Offerings. Offerings can either bring you to a certain map, give you more blood points, further the distance of the hooks in just the trial, prohibit you from losing your items and add-ons, make you start the trial while all your teammates are just one teammate, make it to where you spawn the furthest away from the killer, increase the amount of chests that spawn throughout the trial, increase luck for all survivors, thicken the mist in the trial which makes it harder to see, spawn the hatch in a specific location, and get to choose where basement spawns. Totems. There are only 5 totems that spawn throughout the trial. Killers have totems that spawn, which are called hexes, which will turn a regular totem into a lit totem. Killers can have hex ruin, which will decrease generators if you stop working on them. They can have hex no one escapes death, or NOED for short, which makes it to when the last gen is complete, everyone is exposed, meaning they can get down into the dying state even if they're fully healed, and makes the killer move much quicker. If you don't know what the hex totem is, I wouldn't recommend cleansing it because it could be hex haunted ground, which makes it to where everyone is exposed for a short time, which again makes you get down into the dying state even if you're fully healed. Or it could be hex pentimento, which allows the killer to resurrect a totem into another hex totem. The more totems the killer resurrects or rekindles, which will decrease the repair speed for the first totem. The second totem will decrease your healing speed. The third totem would decrease recovery speed of a down survivor. And the fourth totem would decrease the time it takes to open an Exigate. And last but not least, the fifth totem will make it to where all totems are permanently blocked by the entity. There are many more hexes, way too much to cover in this one video. A lot of survivors say if it glows, it goes. Yeah, sometimes it's really not the best option. Basement. Basement can spawn in two places. In shack if the map you're playing on has a shack, or the main building. If you know where the basement is, try to not die near it. The basement is one of the hardest places to escape from because it's closed corners and small. It makes any survivor that dares to go down there an easy target. If you're looping a killer near there, try to get away from there ASAP. Unlike normal hooks, the hooks in basement don't disappear when a survivor is killed on them. As well as there are 4 hooks in total in the basement, giving easy hook access to the killer. The number one question a lot of beginners ask is who should I prestige first? When you first get the game, you start off with Nia, Claudette, David, Meg, Dwight, Jake, and Bill. All have their own perks. The first one you should level up is all depending on you. For me, the first survivor I level up is David, and that is because of Dead Heart, which is an exhaustion perk that allows you to take another hit when injured, but it requires timing and everything, which can be difficult for new players. For newer players though, I would suggest Meg. Prestige Meg first so you can receive her 3 perks, which are Adrenaline, which allows you to gain a health state after all gens have completed, as well as makes you go into a full fucking sprint. You have Sprint Burst, which allows you to sprint at 150% your normal running speed for 3 seconds. Then you have Quick and Quiet, which allows you to do a rushed action like speed vaulting a window or a pallet without notifying the killer. After Meg, I would go for either Bill or Dwight. Dwight for Prove Thyself, which increases your repair speed of a generator by 15% for each survivor within 4 meters of your location, up to a maximum of 45% repair speed, meaning you can complete gens within half the time needed, which is 90 seconds. Then you have the perk Leader, which increases the action speeds of other survivors with healing, sabotaging hooks, unhooking survivors, cleansing totems, opening Exigates, and unlocking chests by 25% while they are within 8 meters of your location. For Bill, you have Unbreakable, which allows you to pick yourself up from the dying state once per trial. And you have Left Behind, which allows you to see the hatch during endgame up to 32 meters. Endgame Collapse. When the last gen is done, the Exigates can be open to escape. If you were the last survivor in the trial, then the hatch opens and you can escape through there. Once the Exigates are open, a timer will start and you are now in the endgame phase, or endgame collapse. You have to escape the trial before the timer reaches 0, or the entity will kill you itself. The endgame collapse can also start if you are the only survivor alive and the killer closes the hatch, even without the Exigates being open, thus making your only exit the Exigates unless you have a key to open the hatch. The problem is the killer will be checking the Exigates going back and forth, considering there are only 2 Exigates you can escape from. While opening the Exigates, a red light will appear showing the progression you have on the Exigates. If the killer is at one Exigate and goes to the other one and sees the red light on the gate, he will know the last survivor is nearby and will stay within the area. How can you avoid this? Simple. Open the Exigate 30% of the way. How do you know you're at the 30% mark? Pay attention to the prompt. When you are close to the A and the word escape, stop opening the gate and hide in a corner. This makes it to when the killer sees no one is there and there is no red light, he will return to the other Exigate to see if you're there instead, and it gives you a window to open the gate fully, considering you already have a lot of progress on it. That's also if the Exigates aren't close to each other, God willingly. There is so much more to cover for beginners. If you guys want a part 2 to this video, drop a like on it. Make sure you share this with your friends who just got the game so they can learn some of the basics of Dead by Daylight. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell to get notified when I post a brand new video. Ciao for now.